G'day guys, it's Christian West from CHASA here. Today we're going to be cooking a favourite duck recipe of mine, Duck Schnitzel. We've got here some mountain ducks, some mountain duck breast that was shot last year, and we're going to turn it into a lovely schnitzel for you guys today. You're going to need some duck breast. One mountain duck breast will feed a person. We've got two here, so we can feed a couple of people. A pair of black duck breasts will feed somebody. A pair of wood duck breasts will almost feed somebody. Pretty much will. You might need a few more teal breasts if you're going to do it with teal breasts. This is a really good way to eat your breast. You're going to need some breadcrumbs, some flour, an egg, and then any other condiments you might want to have with your schnitzel. So step one is going to be to skin the duck. Sometimes you might need to use a knife, other times it might just come off with your hands, just like this. And we're going to remove what they call the tenderloin. Now, because of that white tendon or whatever it is running through there, despite it being called a tenderloin, it's not actually that tender. I personally just like to chuck a bit of egg and breadcrumb on them and fry them up and have them as a bit of a chef's treat before I serve my meal. All right, so now we've got our breast scum. Now we've got to try and make sure that these schnitzels are going to be tender when we eat them. So see this layer of silver skin on top? If you were to put that in a pan of hot oil right now, this is going to shrivel up like a golf ball. It's going to go really quite tough. So what we want to do is get as much of this stuff off as we possibly can. And we want to do it without losing any more meat than we have to. So I personally just go in and take out the main bits. Some people are really good and can just get it off without losing any meat at all. I am not that lucky, and I tend to just take off the main bits, trying to keep as close to the skin of the duck, as close to the top of the meat as I can, because I don't want to waste I want to waste as little of this meat as I possibly can. Right, the other thing, this is a pretty big breast. These duck breasts have got this line of that white stuff that seems to run all the way through them. So what I like to do, one of the reasons I love using mountain duck for this recipe, is this really easy to do this with. Just come along that line, and as best we can, we're just going to trim the breast in half. So that's going to give us one schnitzel, and this is going to be our second slightly larger schnitzel. Then we can come in here and take this off. Right, so now we've got our glad wrap over. Just going to give them a bash with the meat mallet. The amount of meat malleting you want to do is completely up to you. I don't usually do that much, but obviously the thinner you go normally, the faster they cook and the more tender they'll be. Right, so while I am making these eggs here, I just thought I'd add something, a little trick that a friend up in the Riverland taught me. Add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce to your egg, and apparently, well, not apparently, I know, it makes them taste really, really good. So we're just going to drop. I don't really know how much to add, so I normally just do a little bit like that, and then you whisk your egg up in it. That might be too much. Guess we'll find out at the end. Drop it in a little bit of flour. You could add some salt and pepper to this flour if you want. Drop it in a bit of egg and Worcestershire sauce. And then, really should have thought about this. Yeah, definitely should have. I was like, oh, I'll do all, because at first I wasn't going to cut them in half, and I was like, oh, I'll do all the flouring, and then I'll just tip the flour out and put all the egg. And then put the breadcrumb on and do all the breadcrumbing, but that's not going to work. Once you've got him nicely coated in the egg, drop it in the breadcrumbs. What's the best breadcrumb to use? Whatever's in the pantry. I have not found that it makes any real difference to the quality of the schnitzel as to what breadcrumb you use. I've just got some normal home brand breadcrumbs from the supermarket that were very cheap, and they work absolutely wonderfully. So these are our schnitzels, all done. I like to serve them with a few chips, maybe a bit of a side salad or some steamed broccoli or something. A little bit of sauce of your choosing, barbecue, tomato. I'm sure somebody has mustard on them, but I don't know that person. You could, if you bashed this out a little bit thinner, you could even throw it in the oven and make a duck palmy. But yeah, so thanks for watching. My name's Christian West from CHASA. Subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so that you know when we upload another video. Thanks, guys.